So let's talk about method overriding. And in the video demo, where I was talking about employee and full-time employee, I said method overloading, and I misspoke. It's method overriding. The two terms are very close together. Method overloading is when you have two methods in the same class, but they have different return types, right? They have different method signatures. Well, method overriding is where you have a method that has the same exact signature, but one is in a parent class and one is in a subclass. So let's take a look at that. Method overriding, like I said, is when a subclass has a method with the same name and the same parameter types as a method in its superclass. Again, don't confuse this with method overloading. If a subclass contains an overriding method, by default, an object of the subclass will use the subclass's overriding method and not the superclass's overridden method. Sometimes an object of the subclass may need to call the superclass's overridden method. So to do that, you're going to preface the method call with super and then dot and then the method. So you can see here employee has a display method, person has a display method, right? So you can see here I changed it, and so display now says employee name and calls get name, whereas the person just says name, right? So if we need to call the superclasses constructor, we can do that by calling super.display, and then it would call the parent class's display function instead of the other classes or the subclasses display function. If a subclass and a superclass have methods with the same name and same parameter types and different return types, however, this is going to generate a compilation error. So here you can't have a employee class that extends person and it has a display method that returns an int and a display method in its parent class that returns nothing, right? This is going to give you compilation error. We've already seen how to use the final access modifier to create a constant variable that can't be changed. Let's take a look now at how we can use it with methods and classes. If you want to specify that a method definition cannot be overridden with a new definition in a subclass, you use the final modifier in the method heading. For example, if we have a method named getName, we add the final modifier to the method heading to prevent the method from being overridden in the subclass. If we attempt this, as in this example, right? So say we tried to override the getName method, then we would get a compilation error because we had declared the original final and the compiler saying, whoa, 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 wait a minute. You can't change this. It was declared final up here in person. We're not going to make any changes to this. If you want to specify that a class cannot have any subclasses, use the final access modifier in the class heading. For example, if here we have final class full-time, right? And if later you try to extend the class like this, maybe we got a night shift employee that's full-time and we're trying to extend the full-time class, then what do you expect would happen? We would get a compilation error. So why do you think you'd ever want to use final with your classes? Well, you do it if you think that your method or class is perfect, right? And you don't want it to ever be changed. So then you might want to use final to prevent anyone else from overriding it in the future. Additionally, final methods might run faster since the compiler can generate more efficient bytecode for them because there's no need to prepare them for the possibility of inheritance.